What are you laughing at?
What a f***ing stupid... Why is that a stupid question? Why is that a stupid question?
I'm noddy today.
I think I should be wearing that
I
today.
think you should actually. We'll get you one for next time.
Cheers.
Well, last week I caught one which was, in my view, it was number 2 in the lake. So then you go up to like £55 is the biggest.
What about you, Reedy? Have you been out?
Well, a lovely old drop
What is
linear,
that?
that one.
£4-5?
We didn't weigh it. We reckon it was upper 30s, maybe. Got
A little monster carp vibe to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anything we do's got a bit of a monster carp vibe.
We've got to
That
bring
was
it back,
great.
haven't we?
Once carp.
Yeah.
Thinking Tackle Podcast.
He's doing that to the fucking record player.
Mixing it up. He wanted to start a jiu-jitsu club here.
Who did?
Kev. Oh, it was John. Yeah, John behind the decks.
Perfect.
He wanted to start a jiu-jitsu club, getting
How
Matt
many
to
clubs
teach
are we
people.
going to have? We've got yoga now, jiu-jitsu.
Running
Turning
club.
it into Google.
Running club.
Running club.
Or Twitter,
We're
can't
going
you?
to start running club.
Yeah.
We can
as
do
well.
running club in the morning.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Or could you do it at lunchtime?
Lunchtime.
5k half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20.
10k.
Are you
5
just
minutes.
going out for 5k runs? Or are you
Sorry.
going to build it up?
I'm going to build it up.
Yeah.
Well, I
I've got a
did
marathon
the
to run.
5k running last year, so I've still got that in me. 5k in 26 minutes, I reckon.
I bet you ain't got 25 in you right now.
Probably not 25.
She's tough.
20, 26, 27 I have.
Yeah.
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 It's the injuries now. I've done it. I know because I'm older, but like
It's your age.
in my age, I've got into running like recently, obviously, and I've been getting up to 10k distances. But then the other day I went out and thought, right, I'm going to go for a 5k PB because I was feeling
Yeah,
good. I just
yeah.
run a 10k the previous Sunday. Just doing things wrong at my age just catches up with you straight away. Like I literally stretched for a bit, had a little bit of food, stretched for a bit indoors, and then went out, did a tiny little walk for about 300 yards, and set me watch and just went for it. Literally within about a k, my calf was absolutely like torn to smithereens. Yeah,
You're not that old, are you?
it's not that. I think it's where I'm not. Like I spoke to my mate, who's a really good runner afterwards. He was like, mate, and I spoke to Kev as well. He was like, you need to run for a k first at real like at
Slow
5:40 pace or something. Then stop, have a little breather, set your watch, then go. Because
Oh, right,
warm your
okay.
body up a bit. Just go. When you're younger, you can just go and do anything, can't you? You can just walk outside and go running.
What's your 5k PB?
22 something.
That's good.
Yeah,
What's Kev's now?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, 38 seconds.
What a guy.
Yeah,
Incredible.
20. What's yours?
21:30.
21:30. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
but I'm into. I prefer actually weirdly. I prefer that longer distance. Like I enjoy when I do the 10Ks because it's a bit of a battle of the mind. Quite like it. I'm not too bothered about the time.
I feel
It's
like
more
that
the-
about 5k.
10
Yeah.
miles.
If you're
the
trying to
one.
run it fast,
Yeah.
that is like the last k is hard, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, we struggled in Holland, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pushed me. I actually changed my running
Yeah.
because running with somebody that's at a faster pace, you then set yourself a new sort
Yeah.
of barrier, don't you? You
That's
think, I
what
can do that now.
That's exactly what changed mine, going running with Johnny Mann.
Oh, right.
You keep up with them once, and then when you just go out to run, all of a sudden you are naturally that bit quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird.
I did that the other day. I'd just done 9k and it was the natural finishing point is around 10k to stop.
Yeah.
But I was feeling okay-ish and I thought I'm going to do one more loop. That'd be about 12 and a bit. That'd be the furthest I've run.
Yeah, nice.
And as I got into just past the 9.5k, I thought I could stop.
Could just go home now.
Yeah, and then I looked at the watch and thought that'd be quicker than last time as well. I think I'll stop. Let me stop, but I
Yeah.
could have gone round again. Anyway, we can get going, John, can't we?
Are we away?
We're away. Right, welcome everybody back to the Thinking Tackle Uncut Podcast. Spoon and myself and Damo have been really, really looking forward to doing this podcast because, as we said on the last one, we're all going to be getting out fishing and we
Yep.
all promised to bring something to the table next
Yep.
time we came. The weather was absolutely perfect and we were all going to try and make it happen. Tom's done a lot of fishing and he's caught nothing.
I'm still on a bad run, I think.
Yeah.
Well, not I think. I am still on a bad run.
But do you know what? Looking at the comments, I think people have appreciated the honesty of the not catching because obviously they always see the videos go out and all the social media posts, which we all obviously celebrate the great stuff because that's
we
what
do.
social media is for, celebrating all the achievements. But obviously people realising that everyone was on a bit of a lull action-wise, so I think the whole country was for a little while. I think they quite like seeing that. So don't be too down on yourself, Tom. I think they
No,
quite
I'm
like
not.
watching you
I'm
fail.
not. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
That's fun. No, I'm not. I like I said last time, I'll just carry on going. But we went to Waterside last week with Ciprography Elliot, and I saw we got there and the weather was quite warm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was quite
Yeah, it
warm.
was a
the
warm
fir-
day.
the
Yeah, I was a bit
first-
later than you, but
Yeah, the first day, and most of the fish were really up in the water, and we could see them all. Like we ended up actually seeing the big one quite a lot that day, and I sort of hooked myself into the corner that it gets caught in, thinking you're probably not going to catch as many as you possibly could in the time you're here, but if you get a bite, there's a higher chance that it's that than any other swim in the lake. So I sort of sat in that corner a week, and there were chances. I think I still should have caught one. There was afternoons when the fish were there.
Hang on, all week makes it sound really bad. 2 nights.
I did 2 nights, yeah. And the first afternoon we got there, I was like flicking leads on top of them, so I weren't set. And I actually reeled in on the Wednesday. We got there on the Monday, reeled on the Wednesday as they were turning up in that corner. So I had one afternoon where I definitely should have caught and didn't. It's just one of them things. It happens sometimes, isn't it?
I actually think you're being a bit harsh on yourself saying you should have caught. They were there.
Elliot moved in after me. He didn't catch the first day, but he caught the second day.
Yeah, but when you were there, as much as I do like seeing you fail, they were just all off the bottom. They were probably 6 foot above your rig still, weren't they?
Yeah.
They didn't really look like feeding. Didn't even look up for a zig because they still weren't moving that quickly.
No.
So
very impressive to see the big one though.
I believe we've got a little bit of footage of that. Hopefully that'll get put up at some point while we're chatting away.
Have you seen a big one that big, that close?
No, I haven't.
The only time I've ever seen one that's bigger than that was I saw the giant. Remember the giant in Gigantica, big long male, and that looked very similar in the water actually because they're really well proportioned, but just so much bigger than everything else in there. Just what an impressive fish that
it's a really unusual lake, isn't it? We were talking about before because it's literally like the jump of stamp of fish is so enormous, isn't it? There's not like a head of 40 pounders in there, is there?
there's possibly one.
Yeah, that's just mad, isn't it?
One possible 40
So
pound
how has that fish got that big?
It's just a freak, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Damo's talked about it before. I think sometimes you just get them that big. I mean, we were discussing it while we were there. You know, if it was in 70 acres, really good water condition, would it get even bigger, or is it just one of them fish that's just going to get as big as it is just because it's a freak?
It's in a perfect environment for itself, yeah.
Impressive looking fish though. It's literally perfectly proportioned. It looks like it's got quite a small head actually compared to the sort of its shoulders.
Yeah.
Because its head's like really smaller on the front. So it's like this little small mouth. You can see why it gets caught quite a lot because it's got a really tiny little mouth.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean you can see why it gets caught quite a lot? Cause it's got a little...
Well, I think it's got a smaller mouth. It's harder to ejecticize forward.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
What a fucking stupid.
Why is that a stupid question? Why is that a stupid question? Well, no, people that won't understand why he said that is he said it after you can see why it gets caught a lot. It's got a really small mouth. I don't think everyone would know what that means.
All right.
That's why.
My
It's up
apologies.
to you. You're an expert.
No, mate, I'm a noddy today.
Oh, yeah, he's nodding.
Yeah, very good.
Do you know what? We'll just bring that up. Obviously, last time we, I think the title of the podcast was "Is Spooner a Noddy?" And obviously we discussed whether that word was bad in fishing. We all obviously love it because we only use it in a comedic way, and it seems everyone in the comments is along with that as well. And Damo has taken it to the next level by actually wearing a noddy t-shirt.
I think I should be wearing that
I
today.
think you should actually. We'll get you one for next time.
Cheers.
So what happened with you then, Spooner? He was obviously on the same
To
trip.
be fair, I was on the and followed exactly the same course as Dovey. Once he was in the corner where the common was, Elliot was also fishing that end, and I was thinking, well, I'm not just going to bivvy up next to Tom in the next available swim.
Okay. Let's just stop you quickly, Spoons. Let's just have a quick look. For those that are listening and not watching, we're just having a look at the 65-pound common.
Don't move your fingers too much. That is a mid-60 common.
That's mad to see in the flesh, isn't it?
Huge.
We were so close to it.
4 rod lengths from 2 of Tom's rigs, and it's heading in the right direction.
It just doesn't do it justice because you've got nothing else there to gauge it against.
Absolutely.
And I can watch that.
What?
But that was the point. Leads nicely in. I wasn't just going to set up on top of Elliot or Tom, so I decided to go down the other end where Tom had seen fish that morning as well, fizzing up. You'd fished the other end for about an hour, hadn't you? Just a couple of rods in the edge. And when I eventually went round to get set up, it was a really warm, sunny day, and I saw 2 or 3 cruising about. So I opted to go with zigs. Fish zigs for the whole time. Didn't really feel like it was the wrong thing to do because of how many of the fish we were seeing up in the layers. And then on the last morning, Stokesy joined us on the Tuesday night, I think. And I don't know if he'd been birded or got done. Don't know what happened, but he had an occurrence on one of his rods. And he ended up casting us just a single yellow pop-up past his baited area, I think on some fizzing that he'd seen. And he caught one. So I still sat behind the zigs, so I wasn't seeing anything to go on. And then basically 2 fish jumped in the corner that I was fishing towards. And rather than repositioning the zigs, I just flicked 2 yellow pop-ups out there and had a really nice mid-20 at the depth.
I think we've got a picture of that as well. Hopefully John will pack that up in a minute.
But yeah, like, don't want to go over old ground, but really cool lake. And when that thing's swimming around, I'd actually seen that fish jump in my swim the day before, so it had moved down, saw it jump, and then when that bite alarm goes, you just think, well, what if?
Yeah. especially when you see it. Maybe imagine you see that in the dark and you say, "Oh, it's a common."
Yeah,
Common.
exactly.
Halfway there.
Yeah, that's a lovely fish, isn't it?
Yeah, nice carp.
How big was it? Sorry, say.
20, just over £25.
£25. What was caught during the trip? Was there anything big caught at all?
No, Stokesy caught a
25 as well.
25 or 26. Then you caught that one. Elliot hadn't caught anything when we left, and then he caught one the day after or 2 days after that.
It's gonna be a cool
Stokesy
video.
Caught nothing else. I think Scott Lloyd was there for a night and was really ill, so left the
Yeah.
next day. It's a tricky little lake, and they've only just woke up as well. And I think one of the things we sort of knew about as well before. I don't know whether you agree, and now it's all sort of said and done. But I think the zigs would definitely have worked. It was the right thing for Spooner to do. But for some reason, there's like this algae sort of stuff in the water, and you could you get it at Gigantica sometimes, like sediment. And I think your lines get a lot of sediment on them really quickly. So I think it's something that people should look into if they're fishing zigs, and you look off your tips, and within half an hour of casting out, there's a lot of sediment on your line. I think that's happening to your zig out in the pond as well. So like recasting them a lot would probably help, or even just not fishing them when it's that bad, because I think your chances are sort of squashed because of the sediment.
I agree. I was using adjustable, so every sort of 20 minutes, rather than I wasn't changing the height so much, but just plucking it, just thinking hopefully, like Gigantic, you shake your lines and you see it fall away, hoping that would do the same. But I think you're right. It's a good point. Makes it stand out so much.
I think you see a few people. I know Dan does it a lot, doesn't he? He has like a wet sponge on top of the bivvy for every time he reels his rods in, or every time he changes something, no matter what time of year. I think it's just a regimented thing he does to keep his lines nice and clean.
Yeah,
and it does make a difference, doesn't it? If you do that once with like a fragrance-free baby wipe or a wet sponge or something, your line literally goes back to brand new when you first put it on, and it's amazing how much that actually holds.
Yeah.
But that's an ongoing thing, this quest to catch that, isn't it, with SIP? I think, is it like the
we've been
second or third year?
I've been 3 times now. The first trip we went, it was like it was this time of year, but it was snowing.
Yeah, we had no chance.
And it was more sort of my style of fishing when it was like that, because I moved around. I didn't just sit in the corner. And we ended up finding where they were, getting liners, and then foul looking one, and then having to leave.
Yeah.
And then we went back last autumn, and I just sat in that corner again, and then I went back this time and just sat in that corner once again. I couldn't do that forever.
No, it's very one-dimensional.
It's very and you don't really learn anything. And maybe just because I don't do it much, I haven't sort of got the right. I don't know.
Mindset.
Maybe the right mindset for it. I struggle with it a little bit. Like you sort of feel a bit stale. Like you think. You go to wake up in the morning, you think, well, I'm not going to move, I'm just going to sit here. So it's like, it's a different sort of feeling.
Have you ever had been like a single carp person, like chasing a carp?
No. I like carp in lakes, but I always just try and catch as many as I can. But it's a weird situation there, because it's like 2/3 of its captures are down one end. So you're only there for that, really. So you think I may as well spend my time down here instead of sort of chasing them about or casting around. But yeah.
That was sort of part of my thinking with the zigs as well. I think, like you just said, most of its catches off the deck come from that other end.
Yeah.
It's been caught on zigs before, so I thought if I'm at the end, it doesn't really want to feed on the bottom. Perhaps a well-positioned zig could be enough to nick it. Wasn't.
It's something interest you that name of that carp. I don't know if we spoke about it before, have we? Because would it be fair to say that wherever you join, there's normally a carp in mind with you?
Yeah, it's a decent one. Yeah. I've only just sort of recently started targeting, if you like, as in going for one particular fish. But like Tom, I don't mind fishing lakes with lots of big ones in, and I just want to catch as many as possible, and you inevitably end up catching the biggest ones, because just through the volume of bites that you get. But on the lake I'm fishing at the moment, there is one big carp in there. The stock. Well, last week I caught one which was, in my view, it was number 2 in the lake, but it's actually it was actually well down in weight. This time last year it was over £40, but it was £33.
That's really
we're just looking at it now.
Yeah,
really nice
really
carp.
strange.
Lovely carp.
But it was absolutely covered in leeches.
Only just woke up.
Balls of them in the mouth and that.
Really?
But in the last couple of trips I've been down there, I had 2 that trip, but the fish have been really, really active at night, like loads jumping out. So yeah, you've got like 33. I mean, that common we showed on last year, whenever it was, 38, that's probably the next biggest, that's the second biggest one probably. So then you go up to like 55 pound is the biggest. So yeah, I like targeting them, but I end up, it's difficult because you have a preconceived idea of where you're going to catch it from, or where the swims that have done the most bites from, and then I sort of think, well, I want to stay away from those areas because they're going to get the most attention. You know, there's going to have bait out there all the time and that. But you always end up coming back to them, you know, because they get caught there. So go and fish there, you know. And I saw the big male on my last visit jumping out a couple of times during in the morning. So I sort of went back to that area this week, or last week rather, and caught a couple out of that area.
You caught 2 last week?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know about the second
I
one.
thought you caught 1.
I didn't know you did 2.
I had a 23 about...
That's why rumours go. I had a 51. It was a repeat.
No, I had a 20 pounder, and then during the night, and I had that one about 6 in the morning. But it's good. It's like, I'm confident, you know what I mean? It's going to get caught. It's got form, it gets caught. Hasn't been caught since last July, so somebody's going to make somebody's day soon, I reckon.
Probably yours, Damo.
Probably yours. Just coming back onto that, Damo, you were saying they've been really active at night.
Yeah.
Are you reacting to that at night, or are you literally just, your traps are set from the night before and you're just leaving your rods in position, or are you actually reacting to stuff you're seeing through the night?
No, I'm not reacting. It's too dark over there to be able to see anything. So you can just about see the water, where they're coming. You know where they are, but there's quite a lot of dead weed and shit out there. But I know where I'm fishing is clear. It's they're going to come past on baits. But funnily enough, like the second one was caught on a recast, and it was so dark, it was blacker than black over there. And you're just looking at your lines, because I always sort of check, you know, before it gets dark, where my lines are going, and then I'm looking at it, thinking, that is absolutely cock on, first chuck.
Shock.
You know, and you just think, that's going to go. And quite often I catch a big one on a recast.
Oh, really?
I don't know why that is, but no. Going back to your question, in the morning, I think it's all over by 6 in the minute.
Right.
On that lake?
On that lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas last year, all the bites were through the day, so I'll make the most of it. But, you know, to try and avoid the bird life, what I do is I'm casting my hook baits out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or earlier, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then I'm baiting up when it gets dark, just into darkness. So when the old tufty torch is effective, then they can see it when it's just sort of the lights going down, and that seems to keep them away. So you've got until what, 9 o'clock in the morning probably, if it's a bit overcast, you can keep them away. But you know, it's all over by then, I think. You know, certainly on that lake at the moment. I think if the bite comes, it's going to be at night.
Yeah, nice.
What about you, Reedy? Have you been out?
Well,
he was waiting there like,
My turn, is it? Now it's my turn.
let's get us a cup of tea or something.
got a couple of stories to tell.
Got a couple of stories to tell. Yeah, I have been out, obviously. I've had a couple.
You had a couple
I've
as
had
well?
a couple, yeah.
I didn't know about the second one.
Oh, no, you're counting...
Well,
Oh,
you
sorry.
catch two, here we go.
Yeah.
A lovely old drop
what is
linear,
that,
that one.
4 or 5 pound?
We didn't weigh it. We reckon it was upper 30s, maybe.
Ounces.
Yeah.
It's a nice fish, isn't it?
It's a
That's
great
a lovely
photo,
photo.
isn't it?
A
I love
brilliant
the
photo.
So for people listening, not watching, it's a photo of a blend of our UK and European marketing team. Big group shot. Basically, we went down to Churchwood Fisheries to have a joint sort of marketing day. The Europeans were over for all sorts of different meetings, for all the different things going on here, and then we decided to have a day out content creating and sort of blend the two together, which was brilliant. I think we got God knows how many bits of content shot, and then at the same time there was sort of 8 or 9 rods sprayed over one of the lakes there at Churchwood. And
Look at the size.
It's a tricky little lake, that Churchwood.
Look at Porter's Head, though.
Yeah,
Just for a
that does
minute.
look big, actually,
Look
yeah.
at Porter's Head. When you compare it to Andreas next to him.
yeah.
It's like the Waterside Common amongst 40 pounders.
It is massive.
That's small lakes again, Tom. We were talking about that. Small lakes are bloody hard,
Yeah,
aren't
they're
they?
tricky, aren't they? Because they're swimming over rigs and bait all of the time, aren't they? So that your reactions aren't making as big difference as they would do on a big lake.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That was one of those scenarios. You got your rods out first thing, and then obviously we had loads of work to do, so you just forgot about it, and then all of a sudden... Yeah, I know you two don't know about that, but we have to do stuff like that in the
No,
background.
we do know about it. That's
Yeah.
why we know you're talking a load of rubbish.
Is that waterside shallow?
9 foot.
Yeah, 9 to 11.
9 to 11 years. It looked quite small. You see the far side in
Yeah.
the pictures.
Yeah.
It's total harassment, isn't it?
Yeah,
Total
constantly.
harassment.
But that's what they've got at Churchwood as well, haven't they? It's quite
Yeah.
shallow.
Yep.
And there's not loads of carp in. They're not massive, but it is a tricky little place.
Tricky little place. It's the sort of place you'd want all to yourself in the winter. And I think you could get something going and you could catch some lovely carp that
Beautiful
are in there.
lake, though.
Have you photoshopped that smaller one you just had and just made it look bigger?
Yeah, absolutely mint. So, yeah, this is obviously the second one I had. More impressive in size, obviously.
That's a lovely carp.
How big?
33-13.
33-13?
Really pumped up. 33-13, yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you said 33-15 to me on the...
I thought you did.
I don't know.
On the
Weird
group.
that.
Did I?
Yeah, strange.
I think it's because you dug me up saying just under 34. So, yeah, this is obviously from my syndicate. Went back up there the day after that Churchwood one.
Yep.
Thought, he's on a roll. Gonna go try and carry it on.
Too right.
Not been up for a little while. Well, not been up this year. And it's been fishing pretty poor. It's taken a long time to wake up there as well. I think I spoke about this before. It's a rota thing, so you've got like a group of lads that go in the week and then a group that go at the weekends. Everyone seems to have been going either end, which is quite often the case sometimes this time of year. Obviously, when it warms up, people tend to head towards those shallower bays and obviously hedge their bets. And that had been going on for a few weeks. So I know we've talked about having preconceived ideas again, but I had this thing where I wanted to go in the middle because obviously everyone's going either end and getting the same results.
Sitting on the fence.
Yeah, a little bit. But I just thought I'm going to go in the middle. If I get a chance to go in the middle, I'm going to go in the middle and just see if they're there. So I come out third out of 5, I think, in the draw. The middle area, sort of main middle area, was still available, so I went in there. And lo and behold, the first... I decided before I'd even gone there that my approach on there this spring was going to be small, solid bags, just fishing traps, trying to get bites. So I was all geared up for that. So big rods and the solid bags and everything. The wind, it's quite big wind up there, quite far out where I was fishing. He's laughing there.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
And I was all set up for that. I thought you was going to say something about that as well.
76 yards.
76 yards.
Just one question. Are you using solids because it's less important to hit the clip?
Very good. Well, I'll come on to that. So the spot which I fancied fishing was like I was using 12'6", 4-pound cars and greens.
Yep.
And I had the stick set up for 12'6", and it was like 27 and a bit. So it's into a wind was quite a long way for me.
Had the stick set up for 12 foot.
Well, yeah, because I was using 12'6" rod.
Oh, okay.
So obviously,
you're doing 12'6" wraps.
yeah, 12'6" wraps. Yeah. Is that a problem?
Well,
What's wrong with that?
That's strange.
Well, it's strange, I know, but
I've done
did
that
it.
before by accident once.
Yeah, but I
No,
wasn't.
but you did a 13-foot in France.
I did
didn't
13 footums fishing
Yeah, but just-
37 reps.
Yeah,
That
but
is a long way. I put a 5 key and I was like...
Yeah, but just some context. I wasn't going to be spomming at all. I wasn't going to be leading up at all. And I was only going to be fishing these solid bags. And I didn't know the swim at all. So whatever I found out there, or whatever range I found, or whatever I wanted to fish on.
My problem would be if I did that once, I'd remember the wraps, and I'd probably go fishing that swim again, thinking,
Yeah, well, I was clever enough to make a little note in my phone on that.
I'm really disappointed in you.
What, for doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the spod rod was in the car, so I couldn't really do anything about it. I had 12, unless I guesstimated it.
the
You could
Korda
guess
distance
6
seems-
Anyway, we are losing track of my amazing angling here. We're massively going
Yeah,
off track.
sorry, Reed.
Sorry,
Go
mate.
on.
Right, so in the end, that fishing them solid bags at that range was going to be difficult. And then that afternoon, fish started showing really short.
Sandy.
Yeah, which was quite handy. But the part what wasn't handy is they were continually showing, and I didn't have a clue what was out there, like between me and that spot. It's very weedy lake normally, so I thought, are they just showing over the top of weed? Like I didn't really know what they were showing on. I didn't want to go leading it up and thrashing it up. It was quite late in the day, so I ended up having all the rods in. I actually changed over to naked chods.
Classic.
Classic. Pulled the bead right up. There you go. There's one of them. Pulled the bead right up to give myself a little bit of obviously room to be able to land on any weed that was in there. Got an okay-ish drop, and it felt about 10-foot-ish. The show slowly dwindled away, as it often does. Didn't have anything through the night. Got up in the morning and thought, I'm going to have a little lead about, and just in case they turn up again tomorrow afternoon, I want to know exactly where I am. Turns out it was about 10 foot where I was, and then to the right of it slightly, I found a big sort of hump that come up that was only just over 7 foot. I was like, I reckon that's roughly the area that they were in. I thought, I know I'm going to be presenting perfect.
Nice bit shallower
Oh, it
ground.
was lovely. Bit of shallow ground. The sun was coming out in the afternoon. Well, mixed with rain, actually. But it was a bit of a weird day. Ended up fishing one rod right on that, one rod on the side of it, and then found another spot short down to the side. And then the shows didn't actually start again in the afternoon, but lo and behold, the left-hand that was fished just off the side of this hump roared off, and that was the one. That was the one I had. That fish.
Cracking bit of
Yeah.
fish,
Lovely
that.
carp, mate.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It was nice, actually, because obviously
No bait out there.
Yeah, I did, actually. I ended up, because I thrashed it up a little bit, finding the spot, I ended up popping the float up on that hump, and you got boats there in the swims, and I just gently trundled out with the oars, just went to the left of it, and just for a few handfuls of 10 mil isofish, just sort of typical chod, being a bit liberal with where I was throwing them, get the fish picking the area around a little bit. So I think they did want a little bit of bait, 'cause it had done another fish over, it had come out 3 or 4 pouches of bait to a short spot. So I thought the singles maybe might not be the one, they might be the ones that are actually...
Might be looking for a bit
of food. But it's a weird, on there at the moment, they're definitely woken up, but they're not feeding. It's weird.
Yeah.
They're dancing and showing about and cleaning themselves up. Damon was saying about the leeches. That one was heavily leeched up as well. And I think they are just getting in the mood, and you just need to be in position with the right bait and the right presentation for those 1 or 2 that are feeding. It was pretty obvious because of how the bites have been. Because it didn't do a bite again all week after that.
Yeah. See, this is what when we mentioned before about people putting too much bait out in the spring. You can, like, if they're not really eating much now, and you put loads of bait out, that can ruin the lake.
Yeah.
For a few weeks. So you do need to like just sort of go in tentatively with it. But you caught on a single. You've caught on over a handful of bait, and how much bait did you catch over?
Probably had 10 spods over each rod.
Oh, so quite a lot.
A decent amount of bait.
Yeah, but I'm talking about our Sky Raider.
Oh,
so,
right.
They're only like 3/4 filled.
And you've got loads of birds over there.
There's
So you take it into account of that?
No, I didn't, because I didn't think I was going to get bothered with them through the night. But in the morning, they were on me about 10 o'clock in the morning. But, there was a geezer down. Miller was fishing over there the other day, and there was a geezer went down there, put 5 kilos out next to him with a spom. And 20 minutes later, every bird in the lake was eating it.
Yeah.
So,
it's not so bad though if the birds are clean.
They are absolutely eating it, but
just don't want to sit there.
the fish are they just need a bit more warmth in the water, and then it's going to kick off.
Yeah.
Did you try the old this week or not?
Funny enough, no.
I didn't think you were.
But like a sound that you can't hear, but
I
they
love
can
that
hear.
you've tried that. It didn't work. No. I'd love to think at least one person's tried that this week, maybe. Some little techers.
I was doing it to the I wasn't doing that noise, but I was trying to scare away the ducks. They don't. You can't get rid of them.
No.
They're so stupid.
I love mallards though.
No,
I
man,
really
they're
do.
so annoying.
Did
they used to dive? Mallards.
Yeah, they have.
What? Forever? They haven't forever.
Yeah, When I still worked in Wasses, they were diving.
It's funny you say that, Tom, because I think you'll know, because going back to when you fish in Walthamstow, do you ever remember that being a problem around the islands at Walthamstow?
No, not ducks. Tufties, yeah.
But not major. I feel like it's got worse and worse and worse.
It's because they're starving. Give them a break.
Yeah, no, mallards though, that's mad, them diving.
It was like that front of the switch.
Geese do it as well now.
Geese do it,
Yeah, I've seen it as well, yeah.
I've
Proper
never been
going
picked
under,
up by a goose.
Can you imagine? Middle of the night, like, oh no.
But coming back to that bait thing, I think it's an important thing, isn't it? That you can't take it out, can you? And I think this time of year people do get excited when the sun comes out, don't they? Start filling it in. I think like you were saying about that guy, you could have easily not known about that.
Yeah.
The birds might not have been too much. You could have gone in that swim and thought no one's been in here all week, lovely. And all of a sudden you're fishing over 5 kilos before you even got going.
That's madness.
Yeah, you can't do it.
A few handfuls. I threw a few handfuls out, but I caught nothing, so there's nothing to go on. But there's crayfish in that lake as well, so you think that a lot of it's disappearing all of the time. And Damo's scenario is that if he doesn't catch one the next day, the birds are going to clean it anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be putting 5 kilos out of 18 millers for sure.
That's a nice fish, Tom. We're just looking at.
Thank you, Elliot Gray, for the footage.
We're just looking at a picture that Elliot sent in of Tom's fish. It's lovely, big white screen. There's nothing on it. Brilliant.
I will come in one week and there'll be something special to put up there. I promise you.
There will be.
Yeah, no doubt.
When are you next out? When are you next doing some fishing?
I might go. We've got a lot going on in the office this week, so I don't know whether I'm going to give this week a miss or not. But if I can go, I'll go Wednesday or Thursday night for a night. And then the week after, what are we doing? Something's happening.
Yeah, we're fishing against Ringer and.
The week after
Ringer
we're
and
fishing
Godfrey.
against Ringer and Godfrey.
I'm really looking forward to
in
that.
a match at Bovies?
No,
what is it?
Boddington.
Boddington.
No, in it. Barston.
We knew it was a B.
Yeah.
It was
Right. We could have turned up to the wrong lake.
Yeah, so we're doing that. I think we're doing that Tuesday or Wednesday the week after. So I'll get a night in of my own fishing as well.
Yeah.
I'll go back to Raysbury, but that's similar. That still hasn't quite kicked off.
Just the odd one coming out.
We're on the brink of it.
Yeah, we are.
The next 2 weeks, the weather looks incredible. The warmth wise.
Yeah, what always tends to happen is that you think that it's spring, and then you think it should be happening, and it's not, and then you get that sort of 5-week period that was really good. Then they spawn, and you're like, I can't believe that's over. So you've got to catch the beginning of it, which is I'll make sure I will try and go this week.
This time is like you said, if you can go, bloody go, because it just literally switches on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I know a couple of times at syndicates where I've got it right just the odd time where you're just there when it happens, you end up having, like say, multiple bites when it's done nothing all week. It's just important to go now, isn't it? Just get out. If you can go, just go. You're gonna love Boston, I'll tell you. It's like a bite every 25 seconds. I think you are going to absolutely.
Is it on the golf course?
Yeah.
Yes,
There's so many carp in there.
So we've been challenged before, but we're doing a day where me and Tom are feeder fishing. So be 4 of us in a line, just feeder fishing. So we're playing them very much on their home turf.
What, against the best feeder angler in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had plenty of practice on the old monster carp though, didn't you? It used to be a good little.
Yeah, I think we can hold our own.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah.
And then day 2, it's them using 2 carp rods each, spodding over the top, same as we would fish. So
I've watched Godfrey do that recently, and he was all right at it.
Well, he's going to be,
the old carping.
He's going to be.
I think we're going to be all right at feeder fishing, and they're going to be all right at carp fishing, aren't they?
Yeah.
But
when we've feeder fished before, again, small matches, I've beaten you in normally.
Yeah.
So
how are you winning? Is it a combined
total weight?
Both matches.
So each day it will be. So the first day will be 5 or 6 hours, and so will the carp fishing side of it. So everyone's got the chance of doing.
I would
Exactly
massively recommend you scale down there. Even on the carp side of things, I would scale your tackle down.
Who's your money on?
I would say they'll win comfortably if you don't scale down massively.
What, over both days?
Yeah, honestly, I remember when I fished it. I fished it in a BCAC, and I think we fished it with £10 subline, 10 hooks, little 12mm baits, and just pinging 12mm baits, catching them out the edge.
Did you qualify? If you got the number of the person who did, that would be handy.
No, we won it. I tell you what we did. We qualified in that. Yeah, we did qualify in our section. But the people that were just casting out your normal spinners and bait, they were catching fish. But every hour or so they get a bite, and you think, oh, he's got another one. But you could catch constantly if you were on the right kit, the balance kit. And I think those light setups that the Guru lads are going to have set up, they are going to carve up.
I think you've got 2 of the best anglers in the world, not you two. Them 2.
Yeah.
I think they will catch so many in such a quick amount of time. I mean, Ringer nets them, you can't even see them.
No, that is unbelievable. I've seen him do it.
We sort of thought though that we might catch more because if you fish carp against match, like carp style, so 2 rods and a spot rod against match angler, you almost always win. Right, so the day that we're fishing them against our own game, like they're carp fishing, when you're probably going to catch more, we're going to catch more than them. You'd have thought.
Yeah, I don't think.
But they're they're using the same kit as us.
Oh, sorry. We're both
using match kits. So essentially, one day we're both using light kit, and essentially one day we're both using 2 heavy kit.
Okay.
So it's you've both got the same problems both days, haven't you?
So you're not going up against each other's disciplines
No.
Right.
No.
Okay. All right. That would have been interesting
We
as
fished
well.
against Ringer, didn't we? Ringer and
Bonesy.
Did we win?
Yeah, you did.
No, we didn't.
We won on one.
No, we would have won, but they were counting foul hook fish.
Oh yeah, and they were doing the dap it. What do they call it?
Dobbin.
Dobbin or something. When they put the mixer right on the head.
Mugging.
But we
Mugging,
we caught loads.
Yeah.
We caught the loads today. We were using zigs, spraying pellet over the top.
Yeah.
So we got a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's meant to be difficult. We're going up against the most difficult pairing, so it's like the chances of us winning should always be lower than.
I'll tell you what, though,
it
reopened my eyes to that fishing with a bit more finesse when I went and helped out the Guru lads recently on a shoot for a vlog they've done, and funnily enough, it was at that Churchwood, and they went with their own tack, so they still fish with a buzzer and a little specimen rod, like one of their 1 3/4 like barbel rods, but everything was scaled down, little pellet on the end, little hook and a little feeder.
Yeah.
As soon as you look at it, you think they're going to catch, like it's perfect. Carp's going to come along, not even know it's there, just eat it. And it's a hard lake, like you say, that little church, and a couple of hours I had one. And it just makes me think instantly, like when I look at some of the rigs at some of these venues, like you can scale things.
We
right
do fish
down.
too heavy,
way too heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you've got to know you're fishing too heavy. Haven't you?
Yeah.
And I think we definitely fish too heavy. But then if you're fishing for really big carp, then you've got to scale it to the size of the fish you're fishing for.
Yeah.
You still want to land what you hook, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you do land, though. I remember fishing in the qualifiers of the BCAC, and my partner, who I used to fish with all the time, Mick, probably one of the best anglers I've ever fished with. Old school boy, well in his 60s now. Caught loads of amazing carp all over the place, and he is just so everything I used to show him, even when I thought it was scaled down, he'd go, oh god, He goes, you ain't going to catch on that. He'd be taking a piss,
Yeah.
but he was a big user of like B175s.
Yeah.
Classic.
He'd use 10-pound mono, silkworm hair, little bit shrink, and then he'd use like running inlines as light as he could get away with, 15mm bait, little stringer, maybe ping a few over the top, and he'd outfish you all the time. And I used to imitate him when we do the qualifiers. I used to go with his knowledge a lot of the time, and we used to fish like that at places like Walthamstow on the One, and just catch all weekend. You don't lose anything.
No.
You think you're going to, but 10-pound subline is bloody strong.
Yeah.
The problem is you can't use it that many places. I've often thought about scaling down. I thought about it at Carfer,
Yeah.
and I was actually thinking about it when I was at Waterside last week, because when I was talking about them lines, you can see them on the edge. I think that just looks so thick, it's mental. Like if you could use like 8-pound fluorocarbon or something, they're not seeing that as much, but the rules don't allow it in most places. So it's normally 035 or maybe even 040, which is thick line, and you can't have really thick line with low stretch with a size 10 on.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it needs to be balanced at least, even though it's heavy. It needs to be balanced.
When it's got to be
So it's
balanced
quite difficult.
right through the setup as well, isn't it? Like I say, there's no point in using a Basia with 17-pound main line, 12'6", 4-pound rod, and then trying to do that on the end,
Yeah.
No.
because that is when you are going to lose them.
I mean, you think like when Richie caught Basil out of the North Lake, he was using 8-pound main line and 6-pound hookling, and he caught all his big fish in that period on that same setup, with a little size 6 hook and that. If you saw someone fishing with that now, you just think, what an idiot.
I know.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You'd
what are you
think,
doing?
Yeah.
Noddy.
But that's the same. My friend Mick's the same. That's the same era.
But
exactly
you're talking
the same.
about light rods, light. It's all really well balanced, isn't it?
Well, the thing is that the modern it's changed loads, isn't it? And obviously the back then a 2 3/4 was the big boy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you obviously had 2-pounders, 2 1/4s, and you would move up
1
1
3/4.
3/4. But it is, although
back in your day.
you were
My
saying
day, yeah.
about balancing your kit, the modern rods, the 3-pound, the 3.5, it has allowed like that level playing field now for like everybody to be able to pick one up and fish at that range and do things, isn't it? So it's horses for courses a little bit.
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
But I definitely think there's because I use mainly, as much as I can get away with it, I use our 3-pound platinums. Like I use them for everything
Yeah.
that I can get away with. But obviously you get the weed comes up on my Syndicate, and all of a sudden that seems like a heavy rod, but it's nothing. It folds in half when you're trying to pull a fish out for a weed bag, and that's when you need the bigger rod. So it's all about balance, isn't it?
Yeah. But maybe we take lighter rods in next week.
Yeah,
or week
maybe.
after.
Yeah.
Say some
Massively squared you away, aren't I? You're going to win easy now.
10-pound line.
That's all we're going to hear now if
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
win.
oh, well done,
well,
lads.
I did
Yeah.
tell you.
You're going to come in and say, we lost everything. I'm going to go, you winning there, mate. They fight so hard. You've got to have the heavy gear on. What rods did you take? Yeah, that'd be great. So that's your plan. What are your plans, Damo? Are you going to be getting
Back down the old Syndicate. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
this week?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wednesday night.
Oh, you're going to have another fish.
We've got
to
any
show us
moons
then.
this week? Is it a moon?
There's definitely moons.
Yeah, definitely a moon. Yeah.
Little
I
big
don't know,
moon.
mate. I'm a bit out of the loop. I haven't really been checking.
I think new moon
my
was
phone, John will
last
get angry at me.
weekend, maybe Friday. So I guess we're waxing crescent at the minute.
Right, okay.
I reckon.
Got a while. And
I'll have a
Yeah.
little look for you.
Okay.
What about you, Reed? You out again?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get out for a night this week. My Syndicate that I was on last year, the quarry, that I've got until the 15th of April.
oh,
I didn't rejoin.
Okay.
So I've only got until the 15th of April.
I
So I'm
gotta
tempted.
go on there
Just
before
have
you-
one quick
Yeah.
go before I go. Weekend we've got the show.
Yeah, of course. Doncaster Carp Show.
Doncaster show. So that's going to be good. And then then I'll try and go in the week probably. But Syndicate wise, I'm not getting up for 3 weeks. But I'm going to do the full 3 nights that you're allowed on that.
Easter.
I've sort of squared it all away. Is that the 3 weeks time? Is that Easter?
3 weeks Easter, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
That'll be quiet.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're in the draw, aren't you? How's your luck? Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's one of them,
exactly.
and it
Absolutely.
does fish quite well in full up. But I'll tell you what, before we close off, we will just have to mention how well received your latest blog has been. Amazing overnight thing. I think there's like 800 really nice comments on there, which is pretty crazy for a film
That's
overnight.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
it's so. I knew the film was really good anyway. When me and Spooner went to, obviously we said before, to South Africa and Croatia, but Kai come on his own, so he was filming it one man and was going to edit it on his own as well. And even when we come back, I thought he's covered that really well with the camera. And then he sent through the first edit. I was like, this is just so good. There's been a few edits since then, but the one that's gone out is just unbelievable.
I remember speaking with you about it, because at first it was because you had quite a bit of like work, and there was like some backstory of stuff to do. I remember at first you were saying about we'll get some nice bits on the phone and that, maybe we'll chop it into something, get a few reels or whatever, and obviously it's turned into an amazing film, isn't it?
Yeah,
really good.
He's just covered
Really
it. It
good.
was just amazing. Really good. And it was a really good trip, and he's captured it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that went out last night. So I think by the time this goes out, it's going to be 2 weeks. So if you haven't watched it, please do, because you'll enjoy it.
Got a little monster carp vibe to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anything we do's got a bit of a monster carp vibe, but the normal verses that we do against other people, they've obviously got a real competitive vibe.
Yeah.
But this, because it was in South Africa and we were travelling a lot, it felt like a little mini monster carp. Yeah.
Don't forget there was a match involved as well.
Oh, I can't.
Don't forget.
I can't
Don't
remember
worry.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
last week's
We've got to
that
bring
was
it back,
great.
haven't
Monster carp.
we? Yeah.
I think
We're
so.
going to bring it back.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Don't tell them when or where.
Yeah, no.
So before we sign off, I will just say, I think I mentioned last time we were going to look at some rigs. We've actually got all the kit now, got all the gear.
No idea.
Sprint- no idea. Because Tom didn't catch. He went, we're not doing the rigs this week. Just so you know. No, we're not quite ready with the little table bit that we've got. That's going to be housing the sort of rig and the presentation. So that should be all ready for next time. So hopefully we can look at a few people's technical bits next time. Pass on a bit of knowledge.
Damo can show you what he's caught a £55 mirror on, can't he?
That
Next
would be
time?
pretty
Yeah.
amazing if we can do that. Yeah, and you can show us some of your little Barston comments. You'll be in here going, that's the Guru's
The losing
size
rig.
10. Yeah.
No.
We're going to win. We're going to win.
You're going to
Springs.
win. Well, good luck with that. And don't forget, guys, please get your questions in. If you've got anything for any of the guys or any topics you want us to talk about, chuck them in the comments because we would do our best to talk about them. And thanks, boys. Get out there, catch some more carp, and hopefully we can see you with a fish next time, Tom.
Yeah. Be lucky, guys. I need it.
Be lucky. Cheers, lads.
See ya.